This is Real Talk with Maurice Williams. This is a quick hitting show where we will be reacting to viral reels for you guys.
Tucker got criticized by the pro-Israel crowd for his remarks at the Turning Point event. Charlie also had threats from donors thereafter saying, if you don't get rid of Tucker Carlson, like, we're done. Tucker on that broadcast said the following about his backstage conversations with Charlie before he went out there.
And so I was going on at some length backstage with Charlie, and I said, probably not going to talk about that. I'm not going to torture you. I know your donors hate this when I say that. And also Epstein was in the news, and it was clear to me that, Epstein's probably not like a Mossad agent or something, but Epstein clearly had contact with Israeli intelligence and American intelligence and French intelligence, but the only one you're not allowed to talk about is Israeli intelligence. I'll never forget it. And said, go all the way. Do it. Go all the way. I said, man, a lot of things I can talk about. I don't need to talk about that. And he said, do it. So I did it.
What was so important to him to tell Tucker was, go, Max. Here it is. It's quick. It just happens to be on tape. And it backs up what Tucker said. Tucker got...
Yeah, I think that Charlie Kirk, towards the end of his life, was moving away from being as pro-Israel. Tucker Carlson had already done that. Some people are saying Tucker's getting paid by Qatar. As you guys know, towards the end of, not towards the end of his life, but after the switch happened, Charlie's now dead. And then his wife has also, I don't know if this has happened, but I think it has because it was in the news. Or somebody reported, I can't remember who, but Charlie's wife accepted $150 million. So yeah, I do think that there's just something, I don't know about I don't know exactly what's going on, but I do think that Charlie was moving TPUSA away from being pro-Israel, but now his wife is now seemingly moving them back towards pro-Israel. And then this is just a clip of Tucker talking about how him and Charlie had a conversation, and Charlie told him, go ahead and tell your truth. So yeah, going to the next clip.
Anthony Aguilar, Charlie Kirk, do you believe that Israel may have had something to do with it?
I firmly believe that they did. Charlie Kirk had begun to question things and coming to a conclusion that he was going to be on a side. And everybody knows that he was very influential, not only amongst the MAGA, but the youth, which for all intents and purposes, the over 18 to 24 age group won the election for Trump. Charlie Kirk won the election for Trump. When you look at that, I think that Israel's involvement, one, quiet him, send a message, but two, to send a message directly to Donald Trump that if you look in the days prior to Charlie's death, the president too had started to say things that were against his master Netanyahu's narrative. Oh, looks like there's some starvation going on in there. Completely against Netanyahu's narrative for years. Things look pretty bad. And President Trump started to say these things. You've noticed since then, he's been mum. Oh, things are great. Bibi's doing everything right. Why? Who would you kill that's closest to Trump than his own children? Charlie Kirk. And it sent a message. It was done outside, in broad daylight, in the middle of a crowd, on national TV, no hiding it, and it was sloppy. So sloppy to the point where Israel is almost as if, look at that. And what are you going to do about it? And here we are as Americans. We're doing nothing about it.
Doing nothing about it.
And what I would say to Donald Trump, if he's watching, hopefully he does.
Yeah.
Hopefully he watches the show.
Yeah.
Is that trust your country and trust your people.
Yeah.
Trust your patriots.
Yeah.
The Israeli Defense Force is not the best army in the world. The United States Army and the United States military is the best in the world.
100%.
Trust us. That's what I would say.
Anthony Aguilar.
Okay, guys, so I'm going to respond to this one, but I'm already pissed. So, I do understand there are people connecting, because this last clip, I acknowledged it as well. There are people drawing connections between Charlie, what he thought about Israel, and then him dying, as well as the direction of TPUSA. I'm unsure about that situation. I think we should all ask questions. I have no problem with these people stating their opinion. What I do have a problem with is that obviously I can see that so far what I'm watching is this is things talking about Israel's connection to Charlie. And what these people started to say in the second half was they were saying, well, by killing Charlie, it could affect Trump. And then Trump changed his rhetoric after what happened to Charlie. But then also that because Trump was saying positive things about Qatar, that's why Israel was potentially took Charlie out and is also trying to send Trump a message. The problem I have with this is Trump already had 2 assassinations on his life, and people already had said the reason why he had changed before on certain stances, even before this happened to Charlie, was the assassination attempts were Israel doing something to control him. So again, the reason I struggle sometimes going down this rabbit hole is that no matter what happens, it's going to be tied to Jews, and it's always going to be various different reasons why. So it's like it's hard to follow it when anything and everything is always going to be blamed on the Jews anyway, and if something changes, they'll just say that new development connects to the Jews. So I'll go into the next clip, and also rest in peace, Charlie. I think it's terrible that we lost a political figure and a person who was at least having debate in the right way.
We just kind of go through this. We don't talk about Israeli politics very often, and most Americans don't know this. The last 9 months, Israel was on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu was basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an exaggeration, right? He said the judicial branch has too much power. There were protests planned this week against Netanyahu, where they anticipated tens of thousands of people to take to the streets. That's all gone, Patrick. Netanyahu now has an emergency government and a mandate to lead. Was there a stand-down order? Was there a stand-down order? 6 hours? I don't believe it. Israel's the size of New Jersey. When I took a helicopter ride from Jerusalem to the Gaza border, it's 45 minutes. 6 hours. They're live streaming the killing of Jews. Did somebody in the government say stand down? That is a legitimate, non-conspiracy question. The whole country is the IDF. The whole country is. Yeah. But the fact is now Bibi and the Israeli hard right government has a mandate. I gotta be careful the way I say this. They're gonna try to ethnically cleanse Gaza. I mean, I don't use that term lightly, okay? They're talking about basically removing 2.5 million people from there, okay? And honestly, they have a mandate to go seek justice and revenge. They do. This idea that they need to have a truce or a peace treaty, that's morally crap after you see women and children be burned alive and dragged to the streets. But there are some serious questions here, Patrick. And let me tell you, my pattern recognition over the last 5 years has become pretty sharp. COVID, Maui fires, Epstein. When I see a story and it doesn't click, our guts are usually right. Let me just kind of go through this.
Okay, guys, I think this was a wonderful clip, and I put my thumbs up because he was talking about foreign policy. I understand these things. I do think, first off, Netanyahu's a war criminal. Charlie's pointing out that there were people in Israel who are obviously Jewish who don't like this man, right? So in Israel, there's opposition to Netanyahu, but also the IDF and just the Israeli government in general. So again, I think that's showing that Jewish people have an issue with a lot of the things their elites are doing, like the American elites are doing. And then I guess I don't know if this is how this is supposed to go, but maybe this is showing that Charlie was speaking out against Israel, and maybe the next few clips will show like what happened to him. But my point about this is this. I do think Charlie was questioning Israel. I do think something happened to him, and I don't think anything's wrong with questioning Israel, nor do I think anything's wrong with questioning did Israel or some other foreign government or our government have something to do, or all three combined and, and working together, did they have something to do with Charlie's murder? My only problem is that I believe that there's this strong narrative against Jewish people as a whole and Israel, even though more so I agree with it with Israel, but not the Jewish people. I think there's this strong, specific narrative that every time something is a problem, immigration, women's rights, whatever it is, it's always a problem with Jews. And guys, I don't feel that way. I just feel like they have their problems. We should call it out like Charlie did. And then other people have their problems and strengths, so we should just call it out. So I was just happy about this clip because I understood what Charlie was saying. And I think it's wrong that people can't question Israel more. And that's why I'm one of the people I believe who is questioning Israel and questioning the influence and the things that the government of Israel may be doing over in the Middle East as well as in America.
Nothing to hide. I know there's not, because I've seen what the case is built on. There's nothing to hide.
Is that there's no blood. There's no blood from the back.
Could not even find the blood. It is that small entry. From the side angle is what explains the shirt puffing in the back first. attacking the ground over here. So you can actually see why they were so eager to pave over the ground afterwards.
It's in my every move, analyzing my every smile, my every tear. But why not be transparent? There's nothing to hide. I know there's not, because
Yeah, so I don't know much about her, but we've covered her a few times. She's very suspicious. She's saying there's nothing to hide. I can't remember if Cash Patel spoke on this as well, but I guess I'm thinking about Epstein, but I think that there definitely is a lot going on with this case. So I think that Americans need to continue to press to find out more, because this clip was showing a couple things about, I've heard people say that bullet would have caused more damage. And then I've also heard that the person that they caught really wasn't involved. They were like a decoy, etc. And then what's his name? Stu Peters has covered a lot of things showing like inconsistencies with what the FBI is saying. Then personally, I just remember that letter from those two people, and it doesn't seem like people our age would talk like that. So yes, we've covered a lot of things with the government last time with episode with Cuban, etc. I do think that the government doesn't always tell the truth, and then same thing with her. I don't know her, so she may not be telling the truth either. So hopefully more people can present facts. Stu and Candace have, but I don't follow them too much. But I see some of the things they say. Just hopefully maybe I come across more information, or if you guys come across information, just leave it in the comments and I'll check it out. I know Tyson. Shout out Tyson, bro. He follows me on X. Let's see what he's talking about.
Gonna name names, but bro, okay, the biggest people in Canadian politics that you could think of, bro, I've had some of them like pull me aside and be like, Tyson, you're doing really, really good. You know, you're influencing a lot of people in Canada. You're talking about like Pierre Poilievre for Prime Minister, but just chill out on the Israel stuff. Bro, I'm not gonna name names. Some of the biggest people in Canadian politics have literally pulled me aside and said, just, your career is going great. You know, you could be like the biggest voice for this, but just stop talking about Israel. I swear to God, bro. Swear to God, I'm not lying. I swear to God. They're like, you could be the biggest voice. You could be the voice for the youth in Canada, but just stop talking about Israel. Swear to God, bro. So when Nick Fuentes talks about his story about how he got blacklisted for talking about Israel, from Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, a lot of people are like, they don't believe that story. I've literally lived that story. I know for a fact that what Nick is talking about there's absolutely correct, because I've literally lived through it myself. I'm not gonna name names, but bro.
Yeah, this is my guy, so I'm kind of familiar with what he was saying about Nick in general, but yeah, I think that happened to him. I think that when people start getting more, you call it fame or influence, I think that various big powers come across and try to stop certain agendas if you're against them. So I do believe that there's a strong Jewish thing with like the media as well as the government. So yeah, I'm very aware that the most touchiest topic, there are many touchy topics, but the most touchiest one is stuff with Jewish people, Israel, and the narrative is that it's because of the Holocaust. But actuality, regardless of the Holocaust, if you have the highest percentage of people with wealth in America, they're per capita, like Jewish people have the most money at the top. So they overrepresent at the top. They have the money. They're back. They're behind the business, media, government, etc. So because of this, obviously, when people are saying something against them, they have the ability to do something about it. So they try to suppress that thought and suppress those ideas. So yeah, I just think this is true, and I think it's a bad thing. I'm trying to get us to be able to question not Jews, but question Israel and Jewish people. Just be able to question everyone, and since Jewish people are the group that is more so the touchiest topic and the ones with the most control, that's the group that I've been talking about a lot. But yeah. Obviously, guys, I don't like this one because as I've explained throughout all the episodes, this is just more one of the ones where it's overkill, and I feel like there's so many things going on in the world that, yes, there's lots of Jewish people doing lots of things, and I have commented over and over about their overrepresentation. Some of it, I believe, is because of like how groups work together. So blacks work together, white Christians work together, etc., etc. So I think some of that is from the normal, natural networking of people in the same groups working together. I think some of that is because of their history with me learning about the Rothschilds and them being from Britain, and then the various things that happened in Europe. Then also, I've talked about their test scores over and over because at the end of the day, I don't think the test scores are lying. I think that the small percentage of Jewish people are scoring higher on their test scores than other groups, just like we have an overrepresentation of Asian people in medicine. So yeah, just a clip like this is gonna bother me because it's too much connecting too many things that is just like we could probably do that for other groups as well.
I'm going to continue to ask the question. A 20-hour response in a country the size of New Jersey. That begs a big explanation, and more importantly, America is significantly underwriting the Israeli government $4 billion a year. We as American taxpayers deserve answers to this. We deserve answers. Also, if we're going to get into a regional or world war based on an intel failure. So, we pay for this. What are we buying? Right? I got smeared as a Jew hater, an anti-Semite, and conspiracy theorist because I said exactly what I just said. And I refuse to back down despite all the smears thrown at me. Because I learned during COVID. I learned when they told us that it came from a bat in the Himalayas. I learned when they told us the vaccine was safe and effective. I learned when they told us that ivermectin was horse paste, that you better keep asking questions because it's the only thing that keeps us free. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, guys, I understand that Charlie was questioning Israel, then he died. And yes, I think we should continue to question Israel. I think Israel is up to some snaky things. But so are other people. And we just gotta do what we can to clean up Israel and clean up the other places. The more people speak out, let's say Charlie was murdered by Jewish people. I'm not saying he was in Israel, but if he was, they can't murder everybody, right? So all we can do as American people is all speak out, look for the facts, and just push. I just want to push forward for like a better America. So that's what I'm hoping for. With the American people. I don't know. I won't read it. I just play.
Charlie Kirk's chief of staff is super suspect to the point where it looks like he's in on the assassination and he looks like a zombie. So James Lee.
Very odd. He doesn't duck down like everybody else. He doesn't run to Charlie's aid. He literally picks up the phone and turns around and starts walking.
And by the way, he does that in under a second. Charlie Kirk, his body hasn't even hit the ground yet. He hasn't even fallen off the chair. And his chief of staff puts the phone to his ear, turns around and starts walking away calmly and slowly like a zombie. He couldn't even see if the bullet hit him because within a second before his body even falls off the chair, his chief of staff, Mikey McCoy, picks up the phone, turns around and starts literally under a second. It's 800 milliseconds.
Mikey McCoy. And he is right here.
There it is. Another angle. You can see Charlie below being carried into the SUV, and Mikey is in the distance, looks to be still just on the phone, casually strolling away from the scene of the crime.
That's a guy who just got shot. He doesn't even know what happened to him because as soon as the shot rang out, he turned around, went on the phone, and started walking away.
Who was he calling? Well, I did some digging, and according to the New York Times, it was one Erica Kirk. Oh, and one last little bit. You'll never believe who was searching for one Mikey McCoy a few months before Charlie's death in July of 2025.
Israel. Oh. So from Israel, there was a Google search. Now, we've shown you all the crazy Google searches. The day before the assassination, somebody from D.C. was Googling Tyler James Robinson, the guy who they're trying to pin this on. And we find out in July, that's when they were searching Mikey McCoy. And where was it coming from? Israel. Mikey McCoy's dad, who's a pastor. 4 days after the assassination, he said this. Listen to this. He's talking about his son, Mike McCoy.
My son is 24 years old. Justin's the CFO, chief financial officer, and Mikey's the chief of staff. And I'm watching. The minute Charlie was shot, he called me, says, Dad, Charlie's been shot in the neck.
And as soon as the shot happened, his son got him on the phone. According to the New York Times, Mike McCoy was on the phone with Erica Kirk. It gets even worse. Watch this.
Every pastor and pray. It's okay, son. He has wits about him. He was just directing. He had blood all over him, and
he had blood all over him. Now, I just showed you the video where he clearly walked away before Charlie Kirk's body even hit the ground.
In a clean white shirt.
In a clean white shirt, turned away and walked away like a zombie. Charlie Kirk's chief of staff is super suspect to the point where it looks like he's in on the assassination. And he looks like a zombie. So James Lee.
Very odd. He doesn't duck down like everybody else. He doesn't run to Charlie's aid. He literally picks up the phone and turns around and starts walking.
And by the way, he does that in under a second. Charlie Kirk, his body hasn't even hit the ground yet. He hasn't even fallen off the chair. And his chief of staff puts the phone to his ear, turns around and starts walking away calmly and slowly like a zombie. He couldn't even see if the bullet hit him, because within a second before his body even falls off the chair, his chief of staff, Mikey McCoy, picks up the phone, turns around and literally under a second. It's 800 milliseconds.
Mikey McCoy. And he is right here.
There it is. Another angle. You can see Charlie below being carried into the SUV, and Mikey is in the distance, looks to be still just on the phone, casually strolling away from the scene of the crime.
That's a guy who just got shot. He doesn't even know what happened to him, because as soon as the shot rang out, he turned around, went on the phone, and started walking away.
Who was he calling? Well, I did some digging, and according to the New York Times, it was one Erica Kirk. Oh, and one last little bit. You'll never believe who was searching for one Mikey McCoy a few months before Charlie's death in July of 2025.
Israel.
Oh.
So from Israel, there was a Google search. Now, we've shown you all the crazy Google searches. The day before the assassination, somebody from D.C. was Googling Tyler James Robinson, the guy who they're trying to pin this on. And we find out in July, that's when they were searching Mikey McCoy. And where was it coming from? Israel. Mikey McCoy's dad, who's a pastor. 4 days after the assassination, he said this. Listen to this. He's talking about his son, Mike McCoy.
my son is 24 years old. Justin's the CFO, chief financial officer, and Mikey's the chief of staff. And I'm watching. The minute Charlie was shot, he called me and says, Dad, Charlie's been shot in the neck.
And as soon as the shot happened, his son got him on the phone. According to the New York Times, Mike McCoy was on the phone with Erica Kirk. It gets even worse. Watch this.
Every pastor and pray. It's okay, son. He has wits about him. He was just directing. He had blood all over him, and
he had blood all over him. Now, I just showed you the video where he clearly walked away before Charlie Kirk's body even hit the ground.
In a clean white shirt.
In a clean white shirt, turned away and walked away like a zombie. Charlie Kirk's chief of staff is super suspect to the point where it looks like he's in on this.
Okay, guys, there's a lot going on. It's too much for me. I see the various things they're saying, but I also see the way they're putting it together. They showed a clip of a guy. They didn't show the beginning, but I guess I could find the beginning from Stu. But they showed when Charlie's getting in the ambulance, the guy's, I don't know if he's walking, running, what he's doing, because it's just like a clip. It was a quick clip and then a still clip. And then they're saying that at some point in the month before, they checked this, researched this guy's name, and they looked at the other guy's name, Tyler Robinson. So the Tyler Robinson one throws me off, because I'm like, why would they look up Tyler Robinson? But I could definitely see why they would look up this guy, because Charlie, his wife is connected to connected to Israel. Her parents are from Israel, and it's just so many different reasons that I could see like some of these things happening, not all of them though, right? So again, I see how if you're looking into this and people that know more than me, maybe they've really found something and they've latched onto it. But a lot of what I see from Stu and other people is, things that are true, but then the conclusions that they come to, I'm not able to follow them because there's so much going on. And I just like to process everything and not just say, oh, because this is plausible. What they're saying is plausible, but other things are plausible too. So I'll just go into the last clip for this episode.
Zuckerberg runs Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram Jewish. Alphabet, which owns Google and YouTube, is run by a couple of Jews. Larry Page, Sergey Brin, okay? So that's YouTube, Google, Facebook, Instagram. TikTok is now owned by Larry Ellison. So that's TikTok as well. Those are your social platforms. Out of the big media conglomerates, you got Disney, which is run by Bob Iger. You got NBC and Universal, which are run by Jews. You have CBS, Warner Bros., Paramount Studios, now run by David Ellison. You've got the Salem Radio Network and Brad Parscale working on behalf of Israel. You've got Fox News, Wall Street Journal under the Murdochs, they're friends of Israel. You've got Daily Wire, Prager University, Breitbart, all run by Jewish editors, Jewish owners. Are you starting to get it? Your mind?
Yeah, we're starting to get what I thought everybody already knew. I thought, well, not everybody, but I already knew there's a heavy influence with wealth, power, higher positions with Jewish people. Again, it needs to be questioned. That's why I'm questioning it. I'm trying to find out more about it, but I just don't know what else to say. I mean, I thought this was Kanye already said this 2, 3, 4 years ago. I mean, and even before that, other people knew about this. I just not really quite sure what we can do other than continue, not just Charlie, not just big name people, but us smaller people. I don't know what else we can do other than everybody speak up. So not just Nick, not just Kanye, but the regular citizens, people speak up, try to find out more information about the specific issues like Charlie, but just also in general, what is going on? Why is there so much Jewish overrepresentation at the top with wealth, money, the media? But it's not just those things, right? If I look into lawyers, there are a lot of Jewish lawyers. If I look into doctors, there are a lot of Jewish doctors. So that's why I'm saying it's not specifically just one particular field. And I'm more so interested in just find out across the board what is going on. So yeah, I'll continue to look at this, and then hopefully we also cover some other things on Real Talk, because there's a lot of different things I'm personally interested in as well. So yeah, peace. Talk to you guys tomorrow. If you like this video, please smash the like button, comment, and subscribe. New shows airing Monday through Thursday.